Tostones. Made out of green plantains, they have to be one of the favorite side dishes to a great deal of main courses in Puerto Rico. And aside from using them as side dishes, they also engage in an evolutionary process of becoming more of a hors d'oeuvre, which we'll show you a little bit into this video, where a series of devices for flattening them or making them hollow so you could stuff them happened right in my time when I started cooking. However, the original version starts with the green plantain, and as I have recommended throughout the book and video presentations, use one of these surgical gloves, and then what you're going to do is cut off both ends. And once you have them, dip your knife in a little water. You're going to run your knife like about skin deep, and you're going to make incisions throughout the plantain until you cover it, which should render like about 5 strips. Now, once you have the step done, you're going to help yourself like this. You're going to have the knife, and you're going to lift that first little bit of skin, then you're going to run your finger right down, okay, like such, and you're going to lift them together. Now, from this side it works just as well, and you're going to run your finger up and down. As I've mentioned in other presentations with the green plantain, the fact that it's actually coming off quite easily is a good sign that the plantains are perfectly green, which is a crucial element for attaining perfectly crisp green plantain or tostones. And you know, there's great controversy as to what is the perfect ripeness. I personally prefer them super green because I feel that's how they provide that crisp factor, as opposed to other opinions where people like them between ripe and green, and that provides another texture. I personally as well prefer them when they are super thin, as opposed to others that feel that a little bit more thickness and more of a softer texture is the ideal one. So now we have the plantains peeled off, and can take the glove off. You can also, if you're going to do a lot of these, you can put, just as I have here, you can put some of them in water. So we'll do, and essentially what you want to do is cut these like about 1 inch thick. And you can play around with this. If you slice them a little bit smaller than this, you'll end up with a smaller diameter tostón. So continue, you know, going through the entire thing. You might end up with a little piece that will not qualify for a full piece, and you're going to have to double fry these. So it goes like this. I'm going to drop these in here, okay, and they're going to go for a first fry. See how it's starting to bubble very, 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 very softly, and you want some of that. You don't want super heat. This is probably like about 275. You can go all the way to like 325. You have a thermometer. Now we've done it so long that we can eyeball the temperature. But if you have a fat thermometer, you can use like 325 or so. You don't want them to go in there and get too dark, because you're going to have to double fry these. So that's a crucial part of attaining perfect tostones. Now you see how we're starting to hear the sounds, and we'll wait for those to get a little golden on the outside, and essentially we're going to mash. While those are going on, I'm going to show you a couple of devices, and the absolute way, you can even use like a can for this following process to flatten them out, or you can use, you know, a small little container such as this one that you'll see me use, flatten them out, and then you'll scrape them off from the bottom, and it'll be a great way to do it. So you can improvise as to how you can flatten them out. However, if you are looking to buy gadgets, these are local versions of called tostonera, and this is meant for the original version as to achieve a flat tostón. However, as I mentioned in the beginning of this presentation, you know, great amount of devices in like earlier years were sprouting, where instead of obtaining a flat piece, you would place this, as I will show you, and then this little piece would create a cavity. So you end up with a concave, if you will, piece of plantain that once you double fry, you can stuff with salt cod, or you can put conch salad in it, or you can once more put a variety of elements pertaining to our culture, or perhaps you can do your own fusion with it. So essentially, we want to make sure that these are nice and golden brown. You don't want them to be entirely cooked. They'll be still raw in the inside, and I will show you how you can tell that you've achieved the perfect cooking time with them. Essentially, you can move them around a little bit, or perhaps not. If you feel that they're starting to crisp, okay, this is one of the parts where you know they're still remaining some time with it, and you want them to cook, like I said earlier, just a little golden brown on the outside, perhaps a little more than we have right now. Let's actually try one and see how far into the process we are, okay? So you can bring one here, can set it on its side, and we can use our conventional element over here, and you may even want to like just put a little fat so it doesn't really stick for you in the end. And essentially, you're going to go like this. Okay, I like to exercise this amount of pressure on them because this provides for me the absolute tostón. So these are ready, and I will show you one more time. Let's just place this over here on the paper towels. You would want to practice that. It'll actually release a great deal of the excess fat that is not necessary in the process. So now we removed, you have to have that oil going exactly at that same pace. So here you have a perfectly fried tostón in its first stage. But as you can clearly see, you have less of a clear or lighter yellow. This is the perfect color, letting you know that you've cooked them just enough for that first phase. So you saw, you know, you were able to tell, these are just like about a minute, maybe or so. Now you're going to take a knife and you're going to run it through, and then you have a tostón that is ready to fry again. Now you drop this in the oil, and you're going to end up with a beautiful, perfect tostón. However, in order to show you what the others look like, we're going to place one of these in here. Let me remove some of these so you can clearly see, and you're going to go like this. Okay. So the device offers a great alternative, and you only have to scoop them out like such, and you have tostones. These are a little bit thicker than I personally prefer. I like them a little thinner, that way you get that super crisp. And then you drop them in here. And now I'll show you what the third device does, and this device is the one that will serve you to stuff the tostones. And it's important that when you're making the tostones, you follow all of these procedures in a consecutive fashion, meaning that if you let these come down to a room temperature that is not allowing, like right now they're very, very hot, this is what provides some of the flexibility necessary for the tostones to actually achieve their shape. So now here we have the tostón placed in the cavity, and we are going to press. Now, see, we have a perfect little stuffing piece right here, okay? I'm going to dip that in the oil, and that is about all the ways in which you can use tostones. You can make them thicker, you can make them thinner. You can even, if you wanted to fancy yourself a little bit, you could take some of these and use cookie cutters and make them into perfect round little coin-sized shapes, which will allow you for a far more elegant, depending on the occasion and the purpose of it. So, let me show you the end result of all these. So there you have tostones, and like I said, mostly used as a side dish for a great deal of our favorite recipes. They also make terrific hors d'oeuvres. So as you can see, okay, here you have, we have some more of these over here. So you have here one. Then you have the one that came out of the press, nice and crispy as well. You can see it's a version that is just a tad thicker. And then you have these over here. And you want to fry this until they're nice and crispy, just like these are. Okay. Once they cool down, not entirely, you can use them to stuff or to serve as side dishes. Tostones.